might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Wednesday, February 28th, 2024. This is our 26th episode of the morning show this year. We have not missed. We have been consistent. We are winning. All right. So let's get into our show. If you do not know who I am your host of the Tech Coach Ralph channel, as well as the morning show. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where, as always, we are engineered to win, as it says right there. Engineered to win, having that winning mindset, doing what it takes to be in the best position to win, right? And I just touch on it real briefly, right? I was talking to someone who is looking to get more in the tech field and stuff like that. And they were saying, I was looking online and some people say they don't like this part of the interview process. And I was like, you know what? I honestly don't care, because I want to, if they don't like it, then I love it, right? If they don't like it, then I love it, because that gives me the opportunity to stand out, to be in the position to win, to separate myself. And I am going to do whatever it takes for me to excel, for me to succeed, for me to win. All right. So let's have that winning mindset. Let's get out there and work. Let's get out there and win. All right. So quick announcements. We have our next part of the, GRC overview, governance, risk management, and compliance. So today we're going to be touching on the governance part at noon. So definitely want to tune in for that if you're interested in cybersecurity, if you're interested in GRC, a non-code track of cybersecurity. Definitely want to tune in and get some more information. I'm learning it with you, so definitely check that out, tune in. And, we'll have a conversation about it. Anytime that I'm live, you can hit me up in the chat and we can discuss. All right. So let's get into our news stories. Make sure you got your coffee handy. We're going to get into our news stories for today. We have 5 news stories. Let's try to run through them real quick and put the timer up. And we are going to get into our news stories, and then we're going to get to work writing some more tests. And then once we finally finish with these tests, we can start getting, there is a bug that I want to look into, that I want to address. And then we will get into, but that's after we finish writing all our tests, all right? So just giving you a runway of what is to come. So let's get started. And if you haven't done so yet, do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. All right, let's go. And timer up. All right, timer, 5 minutes is up. All right, so the first story is G20 global soft landing coming, and that's a question mark. All right. So the global economy, not just the US, has a better chance of pulling off a so-called soft landing, according to a summit of leading rich and developing nations. Tighter monetary policies and the untangling of supply chains after the pandemic has made the speed of disinflation a greater risk even than inflation. The G20 noted. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that economic growth in the world's biggest economy was supporting expansion elsewhere, and that many more nations may now be able to avoid a recession. And JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon said Monday that as long as the U.S. avoided recession, the risk of bank defaults over soured commercial real estate loans would be limited. How about we just don't have sour commercial real estate loans as well, but that's another story. The National Association for Business Economics also revised higher its projections for U.S. growth to 2.2% this year, up from an earlier forecast of 1.3%. All right. So shout out to the National Association for Business Economics and their revisions. All right. Next up, Wendy's to test surging prices. And I heard about this yesterday, but I didn't really understand it well. So let's take a look at it together. Okay. So you might be used to paying surge prices for Uber or Lyft. But how about your food, or how about your burger and fries? And those nuggets too. Those nuggets are pretty good. Wendy's says it is testing dynamic pricing, which will change throughout the day as soon as next year. Yeah, that deserves one of those. A burger could cost more during the lunch rush than it would later in the afternoon. For example, digital menu board will reflect the shifting prices as well as offer different menu options at different times of the day. New CEO Kirk Tanner believes dynamic pricing will allow Wendy's to be competitive and flexible. That's what went through my mind. Wendy's is the country's second largest burger chain with about 6,000 locations. The dynamic pricing is part of the chain's larger focus on digital ordering, which is expected to reach $2 billion in sales this year. So, quick question about this. I have a few questions about this, right? But one thing that I wonder is like, because a lot of times now you can order on the phone and you can order online, and based on the location that you're ordering from, is it going to like automatically adjust based on the search pricing? I don't know. There's going to be a lot of work that's going to take to get this accomplished. But the other thing is, so this was not a question, but it's a memory. When I was in high school, over at Miami-Dade College, there was a Wendy's like right across the street that I would walk to, and it was always so busy at lunchtime. So it's going to be interesting to see, like, because if the Wendy's is like the only place in that location, because that was pretty much the only place that we could go to during lunchtime when I was in high school over there, outside of eating like on the school campus. So it's going to be interesting, like, if it's your only option and now you go for lunch and you get a burger, and like, it's normally like $5 and you're paying $10-15 for this one burger. So it's going to be pretty interesting how they, like, I can understand the concept for Uber and Lyft because it's supply and demand, but I don't know, like with the whole food, like dynamic pricing on food, that sounds a bit risky to me, but it is what it is. All right. So let's move on to our next story. So the DOJ is investigating United Health. All right. It says the U.S. Department of Justice, take that for what it's worth, is conducting an antitrust probe of United Health Group. The Wall Street Journal reports, citing anonymous sources. In particular, investigators are looking into the relationship between its insurance unit, United Healthcare, and Optum subsidiary, which includes doctor groups and pharmacy benefits management. The conglomerate leader says the two don't favor one another and routinely work with competitors. Per the journal, the federal government has redoubled its antitrust enforcement efforts of late because they have absolutely nothing better to do. All right. And it goes to, with an emphasis on healthcare sector. United Health is the country's largest health insurance company. United Health is still reeling from a cyber attack on Optimum Change Healthcare unit that has disrupted pharmacies across the country for about a week. Oh, wow, this is recent. I guess we might have to bring that to the front of the congregation on the bug bite. Why don't we? I will save that one, definitely. All right. The hack has led to growing backlogs of claims and payments, and there is no indication from the company when it will be fully resolved. All right. Let's go to the next one real quick. Home prices inch up to new highs, right? So home prices crept to record highs in December, according to the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller U.S. National Home Price Index. Wow, that's a long name. The data, which tracks 20 major cities, shows prices ticked up 0.2% from November and 5.5% from December 2022. The news is encouraging for homeowners, especially those who have locked in low rates and plans to stay put. But higher prices, compounded with low inventory and elevated interest rates, are leaving many prospective buyers, especially first time buyers, in a tough spot. So let's just say this, right? Do not let other people's dreams do not have to become your dreams, right? Just because everyone says, oh, you should go and buy a home, you should go buy a home, you should do this, you should do that, that doesn't mean it's right for you. So you need to put yourself first and see, is that in the best option for you, right? And then we have Las Vegas. Las Vegas, December's fastest growing growing market, and half of the 20 cities broke price records according to the index. All right, cool. All right, last story for today. Hotel guests paying more for less. Hotel workers are more likely to be cutting corners than perfecting hospital corners this year. Hospital? Okay. Warns the Wall Street Journal. That's because much of the hospitality industry is still understaffed, forcing properties to compromise the level of service they offer guests. Yet, while staff sizes are constrained, wages are not. In order to lure workers back to the industry in flux, hotels will spend $123 billion on compensation this year, up 20% from 2019. Thus, room rates are near all-time highs, but you're not necessarily doing a big, formal, fussy room service, one industry executive explains. Which, I wonder if that's why. Well, let's not get into that because it is time to get to work, all right? So those are our news stories for today. Let's put 25 minutes on the clock to get to some work, and then we will wrap it up. We'll get on to our work week. This is my on-call week throughout the day this week, so I will be focused on that throughout the week as well. So let's get to work before we actually get to work, right? That's the thought, right? So let me go ahead and open up our Android Studio. Take a sip of coffee as well. All right, time cost calculator is up. Move it to the other screen. And 25 minutes is on the clock, and let's go. All right, so, and if you haven't done so already, do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live or release new content, all right? There's something here for everyone, and hopefully my number one goal is to help you learn, help you to level up your technical and your career skills, all right? And if you need additional help, do not hesitate to go to www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can sign up for one-on-one coaching with me, as well as access to exclusive content that is not put onto YouTube, where I share me updating my resume, how I format my LinkedIn, all of that good stuff, and give you like detailed breakdowns. And we are going to be having a live stream as well to introduce the agile methodology and how you can apply that into your personal life so that you can be job ready. All right. That's my number one goal, to have you job ready. A lot of times you take an online course, you go to a boot camp, and they give you the information that you need, but they don't get you to be job ready. And my goal is to help you get job ready. All right. So that's that. All right. Okay. So let's get to work. Let's move this over here. All right. So we have the time cost calculator up. Or we have a screenshot of it, and here's the code. So what we've been pretty much doing is doing tests, right? And the ones with the checks are done. Let me throw a check on these as well, because eventually we're going to remove these comments once we're done with everything. But this is just for your visual and my visual as well to know what's done. So like inside of just do that's fine. Because inside of like your IDE, especially for, I'm sure like all of them have it, but I primarily use the JetBrains software, which Android Studio is built on top of IntelliJ. So when you go here, you go to to do, and you'll see everything that has a to do listed under it. So we're just going down the list and getting stuff done. And I have some comments of things that I want to revisit, but the overall test is done, and we can we're always going to be continuing to enhance our test as well. So no biggie. Let me check something. Let me try something real quick. See what happens. I forgot. I almost forgot I wanted to try these things out. Let me see real quick. I don't know what's going on with this site. My bot site has been having some real issues lately. I'll figure that out later then. All right. Anyways, they probably need some testing going on over there. I don't know. It is what it is. All right. Anyways, let's go. All right. So we have our test. Let's go to our next test. And this one to validate that it renders. So let's run this test. I think we got this one done last time, but let's just make sure it works. And then once it runs, I'll just give a quick explanation of what this test is doing. Yep, it works, right? So what this test is doing, it's saying we're going to be entering we're finding right here the income field, so you put your total annual income, and then we're finding the total hours spent on an activity. We're going to be entering this value of 326,410 as our annual income that you brought in for the year. When by annual income, I mean like the total amount of money that you brought in, regardless of whatever it is you're doing. So you're if you work for a company, if you have your own company, if you do YouTube, whatever it is, everything that you bring in, you put it all together, right? And then here we're going to be putting in the total hours spent on an activity. So this one we're saying 10 hours and 15 minutes, right? 10.25. And now we're going to be entering the text on the total. We're entering the text on the total annual income field, and we're passing this text right here as a string. And then we're doing the same thing for the total hours spent on an activity. And then we're doing a pump and settle so it can render it can move forward, based on what's being entered, it's going to move forward. And then we still have to do a little bit more research on the difference between pump and settle. But when we did pump, that didn't necessarily work for us, but pump and settle did. And there's a description in here, but I'm not gonna read the whole thing now. And then we're saying find the element that displays the total time of the activity cost, or the total cost of the activity. So this field right here, we are finding that, and then we're rendering that we're evaluating it as a single widget as rich text. And then we're converting it to plain text, and we're doing we're doing an assertion or an expectation that what we find matches this over here. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And we could probably externalize this, but this is good for now, right? We're always going to come back and refactor later on. All right, so that is this test, and it is working as expected. Let's continue to move. All right, let's see. What's the next test we should do? Test the hourly, minute, second formulas are displayed correctly, colors, and formatting. So you see, this one is digging deeper into, I don't know, do I have that screenshot up? So this one is digging into this part right here. Not as critical right now. I would say let's go to test the state for activity cost when it returns. Okay, so let's do this one, right? Because this one is more important than the other ones. But this is testing. Do I have a screenshot? So this one is testing this, right? If the cost is if it costs you more to do the activity than so you're spending money on the activity, then we want to make sure that it's coming out in red and stuff like that, and it says money spent, as opposed to if you actually make money off the activity that you're doing, it should say money made and it should be formatted in green. All right. So let's get to that one. Okay. So let's start off with this one. I'm going to move this. let's go inside of here. And we're just going to drop this here and we're going to say test widget. And we can say this is right. The state changes for activity cost when it returns profit. And by putting this over here, we're not gonna by putting a very clear description of what our test is doing, we're not gonna need these to-do statements. So like I said, I'm only keeping the to-do statements or to-do comments just for now, so we can easily find what we're looking for. But they're really not gonna be there, especially if you write clear descriptions. All right. So we are going to do. So we can start copying some stuff over here, right? So we need to pump the widget. We're going to need to do the activity cost. I can copy these because they exist. So now we're going to need to do an so we're going to do an additional cost of activity, right? And then we're doing profitable activity, right? So we're going to do additional cost as well as the money made from the activity field so that we can get this field rendered, right? So let's do var input additional cost of activity field equals find by key, and it's going to be a constant key, and it's going to be all right. It's going to be here, and so we need a key for this, right? So we're going to say additional cost of activity, just like that, right? And you know what? When we go refactor, we're gonna refactor all these IDs to be, because they're like right now they're kind of like random IDs, but I would probably want to say like probably want to do something like, we can do this for this one, right? Test data, or let's go, or something like test key, right? Something like that, just so we know what the purposes are for them. But no big deal, right? So we wrote this code. Let's run this one. It's gonna fail because it won't be able to find this key, and that triggers us to go add that key. So every time we get our test to fail, then we go and we write our production code, right? So let's go and run that. Or at least it should have failed. Maybe it didn't fail because it's not actually looking up that key yet. So if that's the case, let's just keep going until it fails, all right? So the next step is let's enter our amounts. Let's say you made $76,321 this year, right? But you're going to spend, let's say you're going on vacation and you're going to spend 40 hours, right? On vacation, the whole week and stuff like that. whatever, let's say 40 hours, right? And it's going to cost you total cost of activity value. And we're saying, let's say you're spending, actually, no, it's supposed to be profitable, actually. This one is supposed to be profitable. So let's say you're spending, let's say you make, let's say you make 76,000, and you are going to spend 10 hours working on something. Let's say 10.5 hours working on something. And it costs you, it doesn't cost you much, right? So let's say it costs you $500 to work on this thing, right? Or let's make it even better. Let's say it costs you $525.77 to work on this thing, right? However, so we're still there. So now we need to get a field for the var input additional. Not additional. We need money made from activity field equals find dot by key const, and key is test key money made from activity. All right, and this has to be a capital K. One thing I wonder, where is this find? I'd prefer to put common finders here. Not sure if I can though. Last time I tried this, it didn't work. I wonder if I just put finder. I just like to be, okay, so I could do that actually, right? But for now, well, I'll just leave this one as finder. I'm just out of curiosity. I can always change it back, but I'm just curious because I don't like using like the wild variables. I'd rather like be very specific in my code, but we'll find out. We shall find out. Okay, so and now let's say the number of user total amount made from activity. Let's say we made $15,325.48, right? Now let's continue to, and one part of the refactoring is I'll probably externalize all of these over here and then declare them inside. We'll see. We shall see. All right. Just thinking about the refactoring. Let's see. I'm gonna just throw a to do in here and ask, is there an opportunity to refactor, my friend? And I'm gonna throw in a little emoji. All right. Let's close this down real quick. Okay, so next up, so we have this. All right, so now let's start testing. So we are going to take await tester dot enter text, and it's gonna be input total annual income field. And the reason I want to extract these is because like I don't like these being declared every single time, because like I want them to be consistent across all the tests, at least the names, right? Although they might change in different, like maybe they might change in other spots, but I would rather them be consistent. So we have our total input total field, and we're gonna say the text that we are going to, wait a second. Okay, yeah, so the text is going to be the user annual income value, and that's going to be toString. And then we're going to do another await. Input total hours spent on activity, and input our user total hours spent on activity dot toString. Forgot something. Let's do that over again. Tester dot enter text, input total hours spent on activity field, and then we're going to say user total hours spent on value. All right, that has to be a toString as well. This one we want to add tack on value to the end of the name. And now we should be able to get a failure, right? So we do await tester dot enter text, and we're going to say input additional cost, and we're going to say that's going to be the user total cost so that's not total cost of activity value, that's actually going to be additional cost. Rename that, and we're going to say not that one, this one. All right, and this is probably going to fail. So let's run it. Let's get it to fail. Let's see a failure. All right, so yeah, as expected, there's a failure, no element. So all we have to do is find the field for, should be close to here. Let's pull this up a bit. Additional cost of activity. We're going to take that and we're going to take this right here. And we're going to drop it right about. I think we're going to drop it here. Let's format this file. And let's give it a run to see if we can get past that step at least. The next step will still fail, but let's see if we can get past this step. So now if we find out where it failed, doesn't exactly show me where it failed. I know that there's no element, but I wish it would have just, usually like you can pinpoint exactly where it failed, but oh, there's more. Hold on. Let's see what's more. Well, we know it failed, right? Wait, there, let me see. Okay, yeah, so it got to the next one and it failed. So let's go ahead and add this one to it then. All right, so next up is money made from activity. We're gonna drop in a key. And we're gonna take this one right here. and we're going to drop it like it's hot right there. All right. And then let's reformat our code. And let's run. And now it should pass, right? It should pass now. Why isn't this? Wait a second. Let me see something. Let's see. Might still fail. Let's see why. Element. No element found. Let's see why. It's getting caught up over here. Input additional cost of activity field. Money made from activity. Let's see here. Input, await. Inputting. That should find it. I think we had something similar the other day. But it's failing over here. Why would it be failing over here, right? So test additional time costs, right? This is money made. Additional time cost. Let's see where we put it for the other ones, right? Total hours spent on activity. We put it inside the text form field, which is where we put it over here too, isn't it? Text form field. Test key, additional cost of activity. Test key, additional cost of activity. Additional cost of activity, additional cost of activity. Let's try just out of curiosity what happens when you do this. But I would think it would work without it though. See, same thing. No element. Is it possible that it's not being seen on the screen? Let's see. Let's try something. Let's see. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Let's try this out because it should find it from what I can see. too many elements now. Bad state, too many elements. Let's look through this code. Should only find it once. Yeah, 1 of 1. Key, constant, element. So when I don't have this, it says it can't find it at all. When I do have it, it says that's too many of them. Very, very strange. Well, it might be the next thing I have to figure out for us by Friday. No element. All right. Well, that's the homework. That's my homework for Friday. Find out, and I'll probably figure it out like right after I get off of this. But it is what it is. We'll just have to see why is that we are not finding this one. Although it is inside of we have it identified here, just like we have it on the other ones. But it might be that it's not showing up on the screen. You might have to scroll to it if that's the case. So we'll figure it out. No big deal whatsoever. Okay. That's key additional. Yep, same exact thing. All right. Anyways, that's it. We're gonna wrap it up for today. Time to get to work. Hope you guys had some fun with me trying to figure this stuff out. It is, it's just another software exploration. It's 90% of what we do on this channel is software exploration, and hoping to help you see the different ways to try to troubleshoot and think through writing your code and building new things out, exploring new concepts. That's my goal here, and I try to have fun doing it. All right. So that being said, thank you so much for everyone who tuned in, whether you tuned in live or on replay. I really, really appreciate you all. And we're going to head out. Have a wonderful, wonderful day at work today. And, or if you're not at work, if you're studying or if you, whatever it is you're doing, right, do your best doing it. And let's go out there and win. Like I said, the goal for today is, or the goal for the year is winning and stay focused. And whatever you do, remember, you are your own hero. You don't have to look for another hero or another savior. You are your own hero. Be proud of yourself. All right. So that being said, I am taking off. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. And if you are in need of personalized coaching, go over to www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can sign up for one-on-one coaching with me, as well as get access to exclusive content to help you level up your technical skills as well as your career. All right. On that note, this is Tech Coach Ralph, and we are out for this beautiful Wednesday morning.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.